To my fellow colleague, Dr. Maru sir, I would like to just brief the presentation supposed to be conducted in the hall number 2. We'll be having lead talk in hall number 2 of Dr. Makarand Joshi.
Minutes for the presentation.
30 minutes.
Yes.
30 minutes, eh?
Thank you.
Alright, good afternoon all the beautiful people. So, thank you Chair, and then welcome to the sessions of I'll be chairing the session, and then the session will take 30 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
But 25 minutes to ring once, and then 30 minutes I will drag the mic. Alright, is there any title? Yeah, the title, the presenter for today's session is actually Dr. Jaranko Mikler. Yeah, I don't have any other information. Then you can see that the title presentation is actually Yoga and
Whether that movement is expressed in the outer space or in the internal space of our own body. So we can speak about this Bahya Akasha and Antara Akasha. So we can do certain movements in the outer space, and this is common experience of everybody. So you can use a locomotor system to do different movements in the space which is from the outer side of your skin. Running, swimming, so all these different kind of the movements, and the movement they in Sanskrit language they call Vayu. Vayu means the wind or the movement. So something what is causing the life to be expressed on the physical level, to cause that physical structure to move. This is the Vayu. So then that movement can be on the level of the locomotor system, and they gave the name Vyana Vayu. So very simple. So then what other kind of movement in the outer space we can do? We can jump up. We can move our body against the force of gravity. So then that kind of movement is Ud means moving upwards. So this is that kind of neuromuscular activity which gives us ability to move against the force of gravity. So we can say the movement is based on the neuromuscular activity. It means connection of the nervous system with the muscles. And then neurotransmitters, activators, inhibitors, moving and causing contraction and keeping muscle relaxed. So activating the muscles for the movement. So we can say the Vayu on the physical level in the medical terminology, we can say this is kind of that neuromuscular activity. So then what else we can do in the outer space? What other kind of movement? Balancing. When we are walking, if in the gymnastic you are standing on one leg, you're not doing all kind of, so there is some neuromuscular activity which gives ability for your body to keep the balance in the outer space. So this is Samana Vayu. The samana means equal or being balanced. So the activity, neuromuscular activity, this kind of movements are there for certain purpose. There is some outer goal to achieve. You know, to run faster, to jump higher, or to be more balanced in your performance. And in these kind of movements you are trained from your childhood in the school. Basically in gymnastics, they train you in these three kinds of devices to perfect them, to achieve better results in your activity. And is there any other? If you consider just observing what I can do, there is no other. And the ancient yogis simply told about these three values. But internal space. It's working now. So we have in the Antarakasha some movements which our body is doing within itself. And that internal movements are guided by the autonomous nervous system. This is also neuromuscular activity, but guided through the function of autonomous nervous system. And basically this internal movement is responsible for the life of all vital organs. You know, without that kind of activity, you will not be able to be alive. So there is no outer goal for such internal movements. It's just to keep you alive. And that's why the nature didn't give this activity to be depending on your conscious will. That's why it is guided by the subconscious, the need of life to survive, to exist. To fulfill that need, autonomous nervous system is organizing that activity. And it's called that internal neuromuscular activity of expansion and retraction. So these are two kinds of movements, and they are different kinds. They are non-linear. They are at the same time to all directions, expansion or retraction from all sides. These outer movements are linear. One time, one direction. So about this function of the prana value, that neuromuscular activity of expansion, which is causing that something can enter our body. You know, without that physical action of expansion of that neuromuscular activity of respiratory muscles, that there is no possibility air to move in. So the air, the breath is sucked in, and the breath is expelled out. So what is causing that is that action, internal, expanding, pranavayu, retracting, apanavayu. So these are these other two vayus which nobody was teaching us in the school. How to master those two vayus. See, this is what yoga comes in. The yoga gives complete education. And especially education about the nature of the function of prana and apana vayu and how to work with those vayus. How to diagnose the condition of the vayus in your body, because on that depends what is the health of your body, what is the quality of the function of all internal organs, because they are all functioning on the basis of expansion and retraction. The liver, kidneys, intestines, heart, everything, all the vital functions, they have that expanding, retracting, even every cell. It's the life, the movement internally is expanding, retracting, every cell. So this is what is very important to be educated. First, to realize that movement, get direct experience about that movement in the internal space of your body, in Antarakasha. It means from the inner side of the skin, that internal space. And then diagnose what is the quality of that movement, what is the quality of the function of prana apana vayu. And then do the practice of vayu shuddhi, in order to correct the blocked function of the vayus. In different margas, the different regions of our body, the front region, back region, left, right side, and internal. So for that purpose, yoga is using practice of asana. The practice of asana to normalize the function of prana, apana, vayu in the internal space. And the uniqueness of the asana practice is that this means it is a static position. The asana is considered to be position, not the pose. It is at least 3 to 5 minutes that you hold one position unmovable. You stay at least 3 to 5 minutes. Because when you do the movement of stretching, you assume some asana. You do certain movement. Then through that movement, you are putting your body in certain condition in which some area of the body is stretched, some compressed. And then that stretched area, if there is a tension there, it must be, according to the medicine, at least 3 minutes, then the reaction of release of the tension starts. Only after 3 minutes, not before. So that's why from yoga, regarding the overall health of our body and fitness, so we need to consider two kinds of the practices. One is dynamic, other is static. Dynamic we call vyayam, because jnana vayu is mainly engaged. Vyayam, and it can be of a different kind, like vinyasa today, popular in the West, like Ashtanga yoga, what they do, that kind of practice, or Surya Namaskar, or this different Sukshma Vyayam practice from Dhirendra Brahmachari promoted, and so different kind of physical, we can say, the yogic exercising. This is yogic exercising in which you use the frontal cortex because the movement is done by your will. You are the actor all the time. So the frontal cortex is active, motor cortex is active, sensory cortex is active. So all the cortical area of your brain is activated in that kind of the practice of yoga. But in the asana practice, the another parts of your brain start to be activated. The asana is prayatna shaithilya, ananta samapatti vyam. Prayatna shaithilya means stop doing any conscious effort. Let go. Then it means you don't use frontal cortex, you don't use motor cortex, you use the small brain for maintaining the balance, and then you observe that internal prana, apana, vayu, internal movement related to breathing, which is actually activating the visceral part of the brain, the middle brain. Visceral part, which has another function for the function of the mind, emotions, and everything. So you are totally activating different areas of your brain when you do asana than when you do the physical vyayam practice, yoga exercising. That's why you need to have both practices in yoga. It should not be only this or only that, both. Because with the asanas, what is the purpose of asana? Is to bring muscles to the tonic condition. The muscles, the muscle can be in the hypertonic, hypotonic, or tonic condition. Hypertonic is one extreme, hypotonic another extreme, the tonic is the middle. This is tato dvandva anabhigataka. This is the purpose of the practice of asana, that which is beyond opposites. This is the tonic condition. So how you achieve tonic condition of the muscles, and this is the purpose why you do the asana. For example, many times in the sport, I had experience with different people coaching yoga than in the sport. Like tennis players, for example, Novak Djokovic I was coaching before he became the first in the world. And then sport and the football players like Mario Stanic and some others, professional football players. And judo, and divers, and volleyball players, different kind. And especially I was studying also the yoga therapy approach, the individual approach of the practice of yoga, and to see what the problems, because most of those people in the professional sport, they stop doing their performance because of too many injuries. Like these football players. They have all kind of injuries of the knee and the ligaments and the tendons and everything. So it's quite some work to do with them, to recover their body. And now, for example, Mario Stanic, he became even the yoga teacher for the. And but you see, the main idea of that practice is, for example, for the sport people, you want to improve their performance. But it doesn't mean that you will improve the performance of a sportsman only by giving him this strong physical training. You must lead him in that opposite condition, that he can have ability to be in a tonic condition, all his muscles, when there is no need for their engagement. And then from that tonic they can go very quickly to hypertonic according to the need. And what is the characteristic of the excellent sportsman is to make reaction in the last minute. The time, that he can react in the last moment, not planning in advance, because it can be wrong. For example, in the tennis, when the opponent hits the ball, then if you think, oh, maybe he will hit here, you start planning to move there, it can be wrong. But when the ball starts to fly, then you are able to, with great explosive power, to shift your body quickly into the hypertonic condition, muscles, and quickly react. So with that condition of tonic condition of the muscles, you develop extreme force for the muscle, and the power and the speed of your reaction. So this is very important, that quality to be there. Because otherwise, if you only train muscles, you can build up the muscle. You can go gym with all these machines, but the muscle will shorten, and they will be tense. It will have some strength, but it will not have ability to extend. It will not have ability to come to the tonic. It is all the time hypertonic. So it is not the question that we have, muscles like bumps all over the body, and they are useless. So we'll see. Later I made one formula, like what is the power of the muscle? The difference between the length of the muscle when it is relaxed and when it is contracted. That length, if you multiply by the force of the muscle, then you get the real strength of the muscle. And then if the muscle is just cramped, then there is no difference in the condition when it's active or not active. Then you have less power in that sense. So you need to develop this both values, and this is the how to say idea of all very ancient approach to training the body. I was training martial art also. I became the master of martial art and karate, and in that sense, there is one from Okinawa, Goju Ryu, one aspect. Goju means hard, soft. So then the training is to train you to your muscles to be soft and strong. Then they have explosive power. This is very important. And in yoga, you have dynamic practice to increase the strength of the muscle, flexibility, everything. And you have asanas to release the tensions from the muscle to bring to tonic condition. Then with these two tools, you can create your body ideal for ideal and very high sport results. You have that potential there. So the other thing is mental condition. you know, what yoga gives to the sportsman. For example, when I was training that karate, sometimes I noticed that the opponent is faster. He is very fast, and he surprised me, you know. Sometimes I saw him as a, you know, slow motion, like a slow motion movie. I realized that this depends on the state of my consciousness. When my consciousness was, we can say, in the state, they say like Satori or whatever kind of the name they give in Japan, but we can say state of Vitarka Samadhi, or state of the zone, the state of the zone, where the chitta is Shunya Swarupa, the chitta is empty, you know, and you are there, and you are able to be related just to one thing, you know, in your awareness, not too many things. And in that silence, and you see the opponent, and then he becomes slow motion movie. You know, you can prevent any of his movements, what he's planning or doing. So this condition of the state of zone is very well known in the sports people. Sometimes they spontaneously enter into that state, and then they experience their maximum peak performance. You know, in that condition, there is a maximum coordination of the mind and body. And then you can do with your body whatever you want. Just I will show you a few slides. This is one great master of yoga, Maharishi Swami Demurti. I was learning from him the yoga, Himalayan yoga system, you know, especially the spine twisting exercise. He was very strong, he did that kind of practices, and you can see the steamroller could move over his body. You know, he was able to control Wadala Vayu, to raise his hair up, to stand up, you know. He was the master of all the 5 Vayus. And then you can regulate any function of your physical body. You can do the wonders with that. So this is already. So this is fitness in relation to Bahya Akasha, to the outer space, is objective knowledge connecting with outer field of life and using the 5 senses. So achieving some outer goal, some results. And and to relation to Antarakasha, it's subjective knowledge, connecting with inner field of life use of proprioception. You know, that's why in the practice of asana, in yoga, you don't use these 5 senses. You do the practice with eyes closed, and you use proprioception. When you do the movement, you don't look from outside where your hand is moving. You are feeling from inside what you are doing with that movement to yourself. You know, with that movement, what you are doing to yourself, whether you are creating to yourself sensation of unpleasant dukkha or sukha, or pleasant sensation, you increase. So this is the main, the approach, and we call this proprioception. This is that internal knowledge you are developing. So this is already what we. So this is the purpose of the practice of yoga, to master the inner, to improve the outer. Because that's why what I say in the sport, to achieve better and better results, you need to work also to improve the inner function of all the cardiovascular system, digestive system, immune system, all internal systems. You know, they must be improved in their function. And the breathing system is very important. The most important thing in the practice of yoga is proper way of breathing, to learn how to use that power. Because through the breathing, you can connect with the function of prana panavayu. Because out of all these vital functions which we have in our body, which you can be conscious of to have direct experience, which you can monitor a longer time, and which you can modify by your will. You can take endocrine system, any system. Only breathing has these three requirements fulfilled. Only the breathing. You can connect consciously with the function of breathing. You can remain connected to monitor and to get knowledge how this body is doing. And then you can modify by your will. It means then you can influence the function of autonomous nervous system. You can influence the function of prana panavayu in that way. Actually, I would say that all the knowledge of yoga, how the yoga came, all the knowledge, all the techniques, all the methods, they are inbuilt already in your body. Yes, your body is living on the basis of yogic techniques, nothing else. That inner intelligence of the body, which is sitting at the basis of the function of autonomous nervous system. I like to say this is the Ishvara is sitting and ruling the function of your autonomous nervous system to keep you alive. Ishvara is keeping you alive, not you. Now the life is given to us. Now you want to get knowledge from Ishvara. He is the greatest master of yoga. Then you observe what he is doing when there is a need of the body to do certain thing. Then you consciously experience which way the body is doing that. For example, if a person goes to toilet, not passing the stool, then usually people look the mobile, maybe newspaper, whatever. They do that unconsciously. You know, many things we do in our life unconsciously because it is done by the autonomous nervous system. Why we don't need to bother how this happens? Just we take it for granted. But the yogi is consciously experience which muscles the body is engaging. The outer, the sphincter, it opens, closes, you know, and he makes conscious connection with those muscles. Once established conscious connection with those muscles, that he can practice those muscles even without the need to go to pass the stool. So the yogi got lesson from Ishvara about how to use those muscles. Ashwini Mudra, the practice of Ashwini Mudra. From where the knowledge came? From inside. So the greatest master of yoga is already inside you. You just need to ask and you will get the answer. If you want to see how you are breathing, how that activity is going on, just consciously experience what is the nature of that activity. Make a hands by the side, prana sparsha, try to increase the level of knowledge. Gain the knowledge, and then you understand how it goes, and then you can use that in the pranayama. How to engage additional respiratory muscles in pranayama, because in pranayama you engage all the muscles. You run, you make first demand. This is the question to the body. Now, when you are running, and then you stop. Then observe and get knowledge in which way your body engage additional respiratory muscles, autonomous nervous system. In which direction, from where it starts, where it ends. You know, then you get the knowledge. It starts from here, and for the inhale moves up, and then from exhale moves down. So this is the knowledge then which you can do when there is no need. You can do by your will, you can engage all the muscles, but in a proper way, because you got the knowledge. So nobody could teach you better than you yourself. But you need to deal with yourself, you need to observe yourself, you need to see your own life, and observe and learn, and getting the knowledge. And then the confirmation of that, your experience and your knowledge, you can find in all ancient yogic literature. Exactly, properly explained in the same way. So, in that sense, I think how many finished? So, just at the end to show you. So that's why there are different kind of the practices in yoga for asanas and the kriyas, kapalabhati, to work in the center, the madhya vayu function. And then Uddiyana Kriya to work on the neural channel, digestive channel, neural channel to purify its activity and everything. It's very systematic. All. And then result of some people which practice yoga. This is some English goalkeeper, his experience, and some Andy Murray, and there are also some like teams, football teams, like Borussia Dortmund. They all learned meditation and yoga. And they apply this. Novak Djokovic, as I said already, the Pele, you know, he was clearly describing the experience of the zone, and this is the Vitarka Samadhi. Then what Patanjali speaks about this Samprajñata Samadhi, Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, and then Asamprajñata going beyond. But with the yoga on that physical level, you can reach that Vitarka Samadhi in the practice. So this is some overview of that application of yoga for the sport. And if you have any question, maybe 1-2 minutes, possible to. I would be happy to answer if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jaranko, for your presentations. Now, I would like to invite my co-chair to give a brief summary of the whole presentation.
Thank you, very interesting, Jadranko, always so clear and so inspiring. The Professor Jadranko just presented us the full spectrum of how yoga can improve your fitness in all aspects, the outside movements, the movements that physical education takes care about, but also the inside movements who keep us alive. And sometimes the goal in the physical education, the sports, people is outside, but without the inner life, nothing is possible. So yoga is about having awareness and taking care of this inner movement that will improve the vital force in you, and of course health. Also mind is included in this complete fitness program of yoga, because without the focus, without the ability to be completely present in your performance, no success is possible. So by his lecture, I think he's inviting us to take care in a holistic way of our, not only our health, but our ability to express in the outer movement with full capacity, with full potential, with full power. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just you remind me just 1 minute to say something to make a round. And this is that you must be very careful when you are doing a different kind of yoga practices or asanas, that you don't overstretch. Because once you overstretch your ligament and tendons, you cannot shorten them. With the age, muscles will become weaker. Nothing will hold your joints together, compact. And then you will get the loose joints. And especially the hips, then the movement will cause damage and will cause inflammation of the cartilage. And then arthrosis, the damaging completely. And then you finish as invalid. So this happened to some yogis which were in their young age doing all kind of artistic bendings. It's yoga is not the sport. Asana cannot be categorized in a sport condition, because this is we can say what today is prevailing, and what they are supporting is a yoga of the limbs. But the yoga of the torso you need to learn, because all vital organs are in your torso. You need to know how to work with prana panavayu. The limbs are very little used, because if you force this, then you are champion of yoga in your young age, and in the older age you are invalid. And what is the purpose of yoga? So this is very important, not to cross the natural border, natural boundaries of the ability to move your joints. You must respect that. There is all knowledge about kinesiology, which says how much certain joint you can move, lateral, the abduction, this, whatever the direction, the spine, any joint. This is very, very important. And the practice, the stretching must be very comfortable, enjoyable. So when you do stretching, you stop the movement when you are in the state of maximum joy. Don't cross that border. And then on that stretched condition, you feel internal pulsation of expanding, retracting, related to the breathing. And that internal expanding is stretching little more, retracting, relaxing. So that pulsation, you are transferring to the muscle to start pulsating. Muscle starts pulsating. Like this, it's losing the tension and comes to the tonic condition. Very simple.
Thank you,
very
Dr. Jaranko, for your explanation. Clearly explained. I think people will know that whatever you want to do is just fit enough. Yeah, not overdoing. That is the key word. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Once again, I think I got no time to open for any question. If you got any inspired question that you want to ask, you talk to him personally. So during the lunch hour, you talk to him 1 hour. All right. So now, because we still got a few more presenters, we are rushing for lunch. You know that. I'm so sorry for that. Now I hand it over to the session to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Lim sir. For the certificate distribution, please, ma'am, sir, you wait. I request Deepak Shetty sir to please come on the dais. Surendra Shetty sir. Surendra Shetty sir is the trustee member, and our senior faculty, Dr. Hotkar sir, for the certificate distribution. Deepak sir, I request you to please hand over the certificate to Yadrenko sir. Surendra sir to Lim sir. And Professor Hotkar sir to Natalia ma'am. Thank you everyone.
And I am right. World is
We are 1 hour late in our schedule, so now only we are declaring the break, and exactly 2 o'clock we will be back, and by 2:15 we will start our session. There is little change in the session. Instead of Garote sir, Khanna sir will begin his lecture after lunch. Thank you very much. Students, please move fast, finish the